Dude, I'm just fed up. I'm so fed up. Everything is junk. We can't buy nice things anymore. Like, seriously.
You know what breaks my heart? People can't hardly pass nothing down anymore.
So, not only do companies ensure that their products don't last too long, they do a second heinous thing, which is that they ensure that you're not able to repair them.
I can't even tell you how many Roku TVs I've been through. Sucks in general because nothing is built like it once was.
It seems like the stuff that we grew up with lasted a lot longer than the stuff that we're buying today. Frankly, the stuff we buy today is complete junk because the stuff we buy today is built to break. And not only do we have to replace things more often, they're way more expensive than they used to be. It seems appliances like refrigerators, stoves, dishwashers have almost doubled in price in just like the last 10 years. These new appliances are so complicated and they're so hard to repair. I have like an old dryer and the belt snapped. You know what I did? I went on Amazon, I bought the repair kit, I fixed it myself. It was super easy. But you can't do that with most appliances these days.
Whatever y'all do not buy LG or Samsung freaking appliances. That's a brand new refrigerator, 3.5 years old, and it's the bed. And it's gonna cost between $500 to $1,000 to repair it because it needs some kind of PC board, and apparently those go wrong in these things, and there was some kind of lawsuit happening. So your brand sucks. You pay $1,500 to $2,200 for this kind of refrigerator. Had it literally 3.5 years, and I can't do anything but buy another refrigerator. But to pay that amount of money for these appliances that don't last, and they go bad as soon as the warranty is out. I mean, cause why wouldn't it? Appliances, anything made nowadays is not made to last at all. There are elderly people who I know who have appliances that they have had for 20 to 30 years and never had no issues. But the way that they make this, they make it to break. They don't care about you. They care about their pocketbooks.
Hey everybody, this is my Whirlpool refrigerator. First time in my life I had an ice maker and a water dispenser. I got this refrigerator in November of last year. The ice maker and water dispenser broke, late March of last year. So December, January, February, March, it lasted for 4 months. They had somebody come out, fix it, didn't work. Had the same person come out again. He said, oh, it must have been, I had it off for too long, whatever. I defrosted it. He got it, whatever, said it was gonna work, didn't work. Had a completely different service company come out a third time, which by the way, Whirlpool told me 3 times the same thing breaks, you get a new fridge. So it's now October and I have had to buy ice pretty much all year. We've taken off work to be here for the service technicians. So I call Whirlpool today and I say, hey, Whirlpool, my ice maker's still broken. Oh, and by the way, it worked for 4 or 5 days, which was amazing.
7 years ago, I bought a refrigerator for $1,899. And it's been like 7 years to the day, 7 years and a month. And it stopped working. It is a Samsung refrigerator, in case you wanted to know. It stopped working, so I had a local repair guy come and take a look at it. After I had taken off the back panel, vacuumed out, made sure the fan was running, I was like, I think it's the compressor. I don't know. No, it turns out that it's leaking Freon. So I called Samsung, and guess what, homies? Guess what? Samsung only has a 1-year warranty. So if you buy a fridge and it's a bed, after 2 years, well, better luck next time. And I'm not interested in the whole you will own nothing and you will be happy. That's not the direction that I want to go in, but I see very clearly how they can make that attractive. They can frame that as very attractive, right? Because who wants to buy a fridge every 5 years? The refrigerator I had before this came with the house that I bought. It was brand new and it died after 4 years.
And it's not just appliances, it's literally everything. It's cars, it's clothes, it's phones, it's phone cases. It's what's called planned obsolescence.
Dude, I'm just fed up. I'm so fed up. Everything is junk. We can't buy nice things anymore. Like, seriously. Our phones are programmed to like not be able to charge after a certain amount of time, so we'll have to go and get the newest tech. Our freaking appliances are not built to last. The warranties are and they suck. Our cars are not even a fraction of what they used to be. Nothing is reliable. Like there's no like accountability to these manufacturers for anything. And we are just stuck holding the bag. Like what the actual I'm so tired of it.
It's so great that we're having this conversation about de-influencing and underconsumption, but can we talk about how difficult companies actually make it? I have owned my cordless vacuum for 2 years, and recently the brush roller stopped working. And when I went to buy a replacement, it was nowhere to be found. Then I emailed them, and this is the response that they give me. You're telling me that in the 2 years since I bought this, not only do you not sell it anymore, but you're not going to make any additional parts for anybody who might need a replacement? I feel like when I was a kid, my parents would have vacuums for like over a decade. And my Beats are also 2 years old, and they've been giving me so many problems lately. I go to the gym this morning, they were 100% charged last night. They won't turn on today, won't reset, won't do anything. And I just don't know how to underconsume when it feels like everything that is being sold to me is garbage.
And this isn't anything new. So back in the 1920s, these light bulb manufacturers got together and they created what's called the Phoebus cartel. And what they did is they created a light bulb that was capped at 1,000 hours. And anyone that made a light bulb that lasted more than 1,000 hours actually got fined. Now, there's an argument to be made that the reason they created these light bulbs were so that they can make them brighter, so that people didn't have to buy as many. Bottom line is, what it resulted in was people buying light bulbs more often. And now that same principle is getting applied to basically every part of your life.
So not only do companies ensure that their products don't last too long, they do a second heinous thing, which is that they ensure that you're not able to repair them. Or that fixing it is going to require so much knowledge, such a deep dive, so much research that it's going to be inconvenient to the point of driving you to just get a new pair. I can't believe that in the most advanced technological time in our lives, our tech only lasts 2 to 4 years. I was shocked when my Beats that I've had for 4 years were having some technical issues. I didn't understand why. And I looked up the lifespan of these, 2 to 4 years. So every 2 to 4 years for the rest of my life, I'm going to have to buy a new pair of headphones?
Look, the uncomfortable truth is that if a company sells you something and it lasts forever, they don't really make any money. The money is in repeat business. So it's almost like they have you like on a subscription model and you don't even know it. But instead of giving them your email or, giving them your credit card to charge you monthly, what they do is they design these things knowing that they're going to break in 3 to 4 years. And they make them so complicated to fix that instead of repairing them or hiring someone to repair them, it would actually be cheaper just to replace it. It's pretty sinister. We're living in the you will own nothing and like it economy.
2003 Toyota Camry. In for service. Why can't they make cars like this anymore? This thing is dead simple, dead reliable. Barely got 100,000 miles on it. With proper maintenance, this car's going to run forever. It's good on gas. There's nothing wrong with this thing. Nothing wrong with this design. And a lot of cars from this era were designed this way, very similar to this. From a serviceability standpoint, spark plugs underneath this little beauty cover here. Super simple. You got 2 clips right there. Pops right off, gets the spark plugs. Super simple. Super simple. Don't know why they can't do it anymore. It'd be cheaper, in my opinion, to make a car like this. Cheaper. But what do I know?
New cars today, you're lucky if you make it to 100,000 miles. I talked about in a previous video about mechanics quitting the business, and one of the reasons was these cars being so complicated to work on because they're basically just computers on wheels these days. There's basically 2 types of planned obsolescence. There's functional. These are things that are just created to break within a certain time period. And then there's perceived obsolescence. So let me give you an example of this. An example of this would be like a new iPhone. A new iPhone comes out every single year. And when it comes out, there's almost like this social pressure to upgrade, almost like the iPhone you have isn't good enough anymore. It's old, it's outdated. Because the truth is, there is no reason to come out with a new iPhone every single year. The changes they make are minuscule. And speaking of iPhones, Apple actually got caught slowing down phones back in 2017. And they had to pay a huge fine. So if you have something and it just happens to break out of warranty, it might not be a coincidence.
CNBC says that Americans are holding on to our devices longer than ever, and it's costing the economy. You hear that? Do you hear what they're saying here? If the health of the economy depends on our devices breaking and us buying new ones all the time, maybe that's the wrong economy. Maybe the thing that needs an upgrade isn't our phones, but the whole economic system.
You know, Apple got sued because they were doing planned obsolescence. Their batteries would degrade really quickly, and they were releasing updates that would make the software on your phone itself like 35 gigabytes, and that would kind of like accentuate your phone slowing down and change your user experience to the point where like you needed to go buy a new phone. Yeah, I think they're still doing all of that. I can't be the only person experiencing it. I can't even call it a conspiracy theory either, because I don't know who would be conspiring together besides like the engineers and the sales team or something like that. And that's not really a conspiracy. That's just annoying business strategies. But my phone's like a year, maybe 2 years old. I don't really remember. It has 0.5 terabyte of storage. It was a nicer little phone. And I did that because I film a lot of videos. But after I film HD videos on my camera and upload them, I'll delete them from my phone because I'll put them onto a solid state hard drive. And dude, this phone, excuse my language, has been like slowing down and having a bunch of issues, and coincidentally when like a new iPhone is coming out. So maybe I'm tweaking, maybe I'm just overthinking it, or maybe my phone is experiencing more and more issues because they want to degrade the quality of the product, so I'm incentivized to go buy a new phone.
And look, this isn't a conspiracy theory, but if you look at it from the manufacturer's perspective, it makes sense for them to design something that breaks right after the warranty's up, and you have no choice but to replace it. So my personal suggestion, when you buy things, buy the simplest version. Buy the washing machine and the dryer that doesn't have all the bells and whistles. Because A, chances are it'll last longer because there's less things to break. And B, even if it doesn't last as long, it won't cost as much to replace. Also, don't fall for social stigmas like your iPhone being out of date. I'm filming this on an iPhone 14. Okay, and the only reason I have this phone is because my iPhone 10 went in the pool. Otherwise, I'd be shooting it on that.
You know what breaks my heart? People can't hardly pass nothing down anymore. Back then, we had cast iron pans, solid wood furniture, quilts Grandma made by hand. Now everything's made cheap. Breaks in 2 years and gets replaced instead of repaired. And I think that says a whole lot about the world we live in now. And somewhere along the way, people started living that way too.
I don't want to get too deep here, but there's also like a psychological aspect here. You're conditioning the human brain to let it know that nothing can last, that everything is temporary, that you are purchasing things that you know are going to break. And again, not to get too deep, but if your mind gets conditioned to this, it makes me wonder how we treat each other as people. That if everything is disposable, maybe we are too? I don't know, just something to think about. All right, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. See you next time.